The first call came in just before dawn. Sergeant Lena Morales was halfway through her second cup of coffee when dispatch crackled through her radio. Unit 214, possible 1054 off Highway 46 near Paso Robles. Caller reports an abandoned vehicle and what looks like a body. Lena sighed, placed her cup on the dash, and started the engine. The early morning fog rolled thick through the California hills, glowing orange from the rising sun. She'd worked homicide for 12 years, but something about a possible body on a rural highway always tightened her chest. Those cases rarely ended simple. She arrived 10 minutes later. A sheriff's deputy had already taped off the scene. An old Toyota Corolla, hazards still blinking, parked crooked on the shoulder. 30 feet from the car lay the body of a young woman, face down, blonde hair matted with dirt and blood. Lena's boots sank into the damp earth as she crouched beside her. No purse, no ID, the deputy muttered. License plate comes back to a Rachel Dunne, 27 local address. Run the registration, Lena said. Let's confirm. The woman's hands were clean, no defensive wounds, but her neck showed faint bruising. Manual strangulation maybe, or restraint marks. The killer knew what they were doing. Lena noted tire impressions beside the Corolla. A second vehicle had stopped here, then reversed sharply. Could be she knew whoever stopped for her, she murmured. The deputy nodded. Or maybe someone forced her off the road. Lena stood, looking down the endless stretch of Highway 46 disappearing into the mist. Between the redwood trees and rolling vineyards, it was easy for someone to vanish out here. Back at the precinct, Detective Cal Reiner, Lena's partner, was already piecing together information. Rachel Dunne, 27, worked at a wine bar in Paso Robles, last seen leaving around 10:30 p.m., according to her coworker. Her phone pinged last near Redwood Trail Road, about 5 miles from where the body was found. Lena leaned over the evidence board. That's rural. Why would she drive there at night? Text history says she was meeting someone, Cal replied. Contact saved only as A. The chat thread was short. A. Meet me where we first talked. Need to explain. Rachel. You promise this isn't about last week? A. Promise. After that, silence. Lena frowned. Where we first talked. Cal nodded toward a file. She filed a complaint last month. Stalking report. Claimed a man kept following her home after work. No name, no plates. She described him as tall, clean-cut, maybe mid-30s, drove a black Dodge Ram. A chill moved through Lena's spine. So, she reports a stalker, then agrees to meet someone alone? Sounds like manipulation. He lured her out there. Yeah, Cal said quietly. And whoever A is, he's smart. He erased his messages before midnight. We only recovered them through backup cache. By noon, forensics confirmed Rachel's cause of death. Asphyxiation. No drugs, no alcohol. She fought briefly, but the struggle was one-sided. Under her fingernails they found something. A thin piece of plastic. Dark gray, almost metallic. Could be part of a car key fob, the tech said. Lena's pulse quickened. Run it against Dodge vehicle plastics, and check security footage from Highway 46 gas stations. Midnight to 2 a.m. At 4:17 p.m., Cal returned with footage from a convenience store camera. There, Rachel's Corolla pulling in around 11:12 p.m. She's on the phone, visibly anxious. 2 minutes later, a black Dodge Ram appears, stops behind her. A man in a hoodie steps out, walks straight to her window. The footage froze. Cal zoomed in, enhancing the frame, the man's face half visible under the hood. Could be him, he said. Lena stared at the screen. We need ID. The tech enhanced the plate. 4ZQ1732. DMV records matched it to a Blake Harlan, 35, local contractor. Bingo, Cal muttered. Lena looked up the file. Harlan had no criminal record, but a few noise complaints, one dismissed restraining order, filed by his ex-girlfriend 2 years ago. The woman's name, April Litton. Ex-girlfriend, restraining order, stalking accusation, Lena said. Patterns emerging. They reached Harlan's property just before dusk, a 2-story cabin near the redwoods. The sun bled through the trees like firelight. Ready? Cal asked. Always. They knocked. No answer. Lena circled around back, noticed tire tracks leading to a detached shed. She signaled Cal. The door creaked open under her hand. Inside, the metallic scent of bleach hit them both. A table, zip ties, a phone charger, and a single photo pinned on the wall. Rachel Dunne, smiling behind the bar where she worked. Lena's throat went dry. He was watching her. Cal pointed at the floor. Footprints, fresh. They turned and froze. From the shadows at the shed's far corner, a figure moved. A man in work boots and a gray hoodie. "Police!" Lena shouted, drawing her weapon. "Hands where I can see them!" But Blake Harlan didn't raise his hands. He ran, straight into the trees. The chase tore through the redwoods, fog swirling like smoke. Lena's flashlight cut through the darkness, catching glimpses of his movement. The sound of snapping twigs echoed. "Stop! Police!" He didn't. A branch whipped across Lena's face, slicing her cheek. Cal's voice echoed behind her. "He's heading toward the creek!" They burst into an open clearing and stopped dead. Harlan was gone. Only his boot prints led down into the shallow water and vanished. Lena's radio hissed. "Do we have eyes?" she called out. Static. Cal cursed. "He's using the creek to cover his tracks." Lena stared into the trees, heart pounding. He knew this area. He planned this. The forest fell silent, except for the distant hum of Highway 46. Back at the station, Lena stood over the evidence board. Photos of Rachel, the Corolla, the shed, and Blake Harlan's DMV picture covered the cork. The case had just exploded into something darker, deliberate, organized, personal. "He's not just a stalker," she said quietly. "He's a hunter." Cal looked over. And hunters don't stop after one. Lena turned back to the board, eyes narrowing at the redwoods pinned beside Harlan's address. "Then we find him," she said, "before he finds someone else." The next morning, the department buzzed like a hornet's nest. News of the Highway 46 murder had already hit local media. Young woman found dead near Paso Robles. Police search for contractor. Reporters swarmed outside the precinct. Inside, Sergeant Lena Morales stared at the caseboard, coffee untouched. Photos of Blake Harlan, Rachel Dunne, and the eerie redwood shed filled the board. Every new clue painted the same picture, a predator hiding in plain sight. Detective Cal Reiner entered with a grim face. "Lena, you need to see this." He dropped a folder on her desk. Crime scene photos. Not from Rachel's murder. From 2 years earlier. Victim, April Litton. Cause of death, unresolved. Presumed accidental fall in Redwood Creek. Location, 1/2 mile from Harlan's property. Lena's jaw tightened. "That's his ex, the one who filed a restraining order." "Yeah," Cal said. "Officially ruled an accident. But get this, the responding officer at the time was transferred right after the report." Lena flipped through the old notes. April's injuries were inconsistent with a fall. Bruises around the wrists, traces of duct tape adhesive on her skin. The coroner had even flagged it as suspicious before the file got buried. "Jesus," Lena whispered. "He's been killing longer than we thought." They drove back to Harlan's property that afternoon with a full warrant. CSI combed through the shed, digging into the floorboards and drains. Beneath a layer of concrete, they found it, a silver bracelet engraved AL. "April Litton," Cal said quietly. Lena's stomach twisted. He kept trophies. Outside, a K-9 unit barked near the edge of the woods. Officers followed the sound and unearthed a shallow grave wrapped in plastic. Inside, bones, partially decomposed. A woman's remains. For a long moment, no one spoke. The wind rustled the redwoods like whispers. Later, at headquarters, Lena watched a live drone feed scanning the forest area around Harlan's cabin. The tech team traced heat signatures, tracking any sign of movement. "There," Cal pointed. A faint heat spot, deeper in the forest, near an old ranger station long abandoned. "Let's move," Lena said. They geared up, vests, flashlights, and sidearms. The drive through the dirt trail was silent except for the radio chatter. As they neared the ranger cabin, a smell of smoke filled the air. Lena stepped out first, gun drawn. The cabin door was ajar, faint light flickering inside. "Police! Step out with your hands visible." No answer. They entered slowly, the cabin empty except for a camping stove, a sleeping bag, and a wall covered with photographs. Not just Rachel and April, at least 5 different women. Some smiling in daylight, others clearly unaware they were being photographed. Pinned below each photo, a date and a location. Highway 46, Redwood Creek, Oak Ridge Motel. Lena exhaled sharply. "This guy's been hunting women for years." Cal's voice was low. "Looks like he stalked them first. Watched, followed, waited." But then Lena noticed something else. A map, with red X marks across the county. The latest one circled in bold marker. "Next target?" she whispered. Before Cal could answer, a radio call came through. "Unit 214, possible sighting of suspect at Ridgeway Gas, heading east in a gray pickup. Tag matches Harlan." Lena bolted. By the time they reached the gas station, the Dodge Ram was gone. The clerk, shaking, said, "He came in, bought fuel, paid cash, looked calm. Said he was heading to the coast." Lena checked the CCTV. Sure enough, Harlan's face, clear as day. Calm, even smiling. But something about his movements bothered her. He wasn't running away. He was heading somewhere. "Check the direction," she said. "Coast Highway means he's going toward Morro Bay." Cal frowned. "Tourist area. Why there?" "Tourist." Lena zoomed in on the footage again. In Harlan's back seat, through the window reflection, something glinted. A phone charger cord, and what looked like a woman's purse. "Oh no," Lena whispered. "He's got someone with him." The department scrambled. APB issued. Roadblocks set along Highway 1. Helicopters scanned the coastal stretch. At 8:43 p.m., a ranger unit spotted the truck near Morro Bay cliffs. Headlights off, doors open. Lena and Cal arrived minutes later. Wind howled through the cliffs as waves crashed below. The Dodge sat empty, engine still warm. Lena's flashlight swept across the ground. Shoe prints, one set larger than the other, and then a muffled cry. They followed the sound toward a thicket of brush. There, tied and gagged, lay a woman, bruised but alive. "Police! You're safe!" Lena said, cutting the ties. The woman sobbed. "He said I looked like her, like Rachel. He was going to finish it this time." Lena's heart pounded. "Where did he go?" She pointed shakily toward the cliff's edge. Lena and Cal approached cautiously. The moonlight spilled over the ocean, and there, standing near the precipice, was Blake Harlan. He turned slowly, hands open, eyes wild but calm. "You shouldn't have come, Sergeant Morales," he said. "I was almost done." "Step away from the edge, Blake," Lena ordered. "It's over." He smiled faintly. "You don't get it. It was never random. They all lied. They all pretended to care. And then they left." "You murdered them," Lena said. "I freed them," he whispered. For a heartbeat the world went still, just the wind and the sea. Then, suddenly, he stepped back and vanished over the cliff. Lena lunged forward, flashlight sweeping the rocks below, nothing but black water crashing against stone. Days later, search teams scoured the coast. No body was recovered. Only the wrecked front bumper of his Dodge Ram found miles away, washed ashore. Media labeled him the Redwood Killer. The case gripped the nation for weeks. Documentaries, online theories, podcast specials. But for Lena Morales, it never ended. In her office, she stared at the case board. All the victims' photos lined up. Rachel, April, the unnamed others, the rescued woman from Morro Bay. All connected by one man, and a pattern that might not be over. Cal knocked on the door. "You okay?" Lena nodded faintly. "He planned everything, every move." "You think he's dead?" Cal hesitated. "After what we saw, I don't know." Lena's phone buzzed on the desk. Unknown number. She frowned, answered. "Sergeant Morales?" A distorted male voice said. "You missed one." Static. Click. The line went dead. Lena froze. The sound replayed in her head. That voice, familiar, deliberate. Her eyes lifted to the evidence board, the redwood forest photo pinned in the center. She stood, heart racing. "He's still out there,"